Good evening and welcome to the Drive at 5 on IntellectualRadio.com/iHeartRadio station. I'm your host, Roman. We have a terrific show planned for you today. Yes, it looks like it is another rant, but I want to hear from you. I want to hear from the listeners and viewers today of what you think what's going on federally and locally. The number is 708-223-8953. The number again is 708-223-8953. Don't forget to stay tuned for Warriors Talk with my girl, Rochelle, at 6 p.m. What I want to discuss tonight is I find out it's not just me waiting to hear rants, me ranting. I want to hear you rant on some of the things that's going on today. We're going to have a heavy discussion on what's going on, but let me put it to you this way. Number one, everybody is talking about the Epstein file. And I'm just going to tell you my take on the files. I said it last week, and I'll say it again. You get what you pay for. You know what the guy was dealing with. You know who he was about. You knew he had dealings with Epstein. And I think it's no different. Everybody wants to put Clinton in this, Obama in this. It's time for us to say, no, sir. You said when you was running, you was going to open the files. Now, when your name is all over it now you're like, let me find something else. Let's arrest Obama. Let's open up the Martin Luther King files. He's thinking of everything. But what people are asking him, why your name is on the list since you're holier than thou. Like your sugar honey iced tea don't stink. Today at a press conference today, an hour press conference. Guess what he said? He said, well, I kicked him out of Molly Legro and I said that wouldn't be tolerated. I kicked him out. You never kicked him out. Stop lying. Every single time I sat here and told you he's a demagogue. And look up what a demagogue is. A demagogue will say and do anything to get what they want. They will say and do anything to get what they want. He's a demagogue and a racist one at that. I'm not a racist, but you basically said you wanted to cancel Juneteenth until blacks push against it and said, hey, you pushing up the wrong, stay in your lane. He's still thinking about Black History Month. He's still thinking about this. And a lot of people have sat there and said to me, what should we do? And I said it over and over on this show. Vote. We wouldn't be in this situation if you wouldn't vote. We wouldn't have to worry about health issues if you didn't vote. If we would have voted, guess what? We wouldn't have had them. But people think it's a joke. It's not a joke. I want to know how you feel about the Epstein file. It's 708-223-8953. Give me a call. Let me know how you feel about it, because how I feel about it, you already know. I don't want to go on another rant about how I feel. I want to know how you feel. How you feel about the Epstein file. How you feel about somebody manipulating and talking about Child pedophilia is out there, folks. It's out there. And yes, your politicians are guilty of it as well. So you're going to let him walk idly by, and there's a question of child pedophilia out there. We're not perfect. And I'm not saying we're not perfect, but what's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. He's on the list, not once, not twice, not 3 times. He's on the list, if you know what I mean. When there's a party at Epstein, Trump was there doing his little, dancing moves. He's there. Give me a call, 708-223-8953. Chime in. Let's have a discussion about it, because it is time for us to put the demagogue in his place. It's time, folks, for us to basically say, push the Republican Party, because the Republican Party had a Speaker of the House that was accused of child pedophilia. I was about to say paraphernalia, but pedophilia. There was a Speaker of the House at the Republican Party, but you want to talk about Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. You want to talk about a stain on her dress. It's immoral. And then here comes the evangelicals, holier than now. And now their boy is accused. And I'm saying this. He's accused with possibly molesting children. Why did they question the wife? Why did the Trump administration question the wife? You tell me. You tell me. Why did they do that? I'm going to tell you why. Because they want to know what extent Trump involvement is. Soon as they found out what Trump involvement is and was at that particular time, guess what happened, folks? They put her back in jail. She was pardoned. Remember, she was pardoned she was pardoned. Remember? It's a shame that we're thinking about issues, but this is not the only issue we should be concerned about, people. This is not the only one. We should be concerned about what is next in the Black community. What is next for our community? Because guess what? He said at a press conference, and he made no qualms about it. He said, well, we're going to get rid of the people that don't belong here. Go on ABC Nightly News. Go on NBC Nightly News, ABC News Tonight, CBS News. I will get rid of people that do not belong here. Why is he covering up the Epstein file? Why? That's the question we should be asking. 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. Give me a call. Let me know what you think, because I know for a fact it's heavy involvement, more that he don't want you to know. And there's a reason for that, because he's ashamed. How can he face his wife? How can he face his children? How can he face anybody? And the evangelicals allow this to happen. They continue to donate to this demagogue, the Suge Knight of politics. They continue to donate. They haven't said a word, knowing that foreigners attend their churches, knowing that immigrants are amongst them, worshiping with them. You can say shakalaka buka buka all you want to. And I'm not trying to be mean or discredit people in their religious chant, but let's be serious. What's wrong is wrong and what's right is right. If he's in the wrong, you do the same thing like you did Bill Clinton. Not one statement, not one word, nothing. And you sit there and you allow him to degrade women, to degrade Black women, to degrade anyone, degrade Black men. And I'm appalled that some of these Black men are taking up for him. I'm literally like, seriously, you're taking up for this man and he doesn't give a damn about you? Seriously, you're taking, it's sometimes you're lost for words. And when you are lost for words and you say, I'm proud to be an American, I want to stand up, you basically wonder why Chris Kaepernick, 49ers, didn't want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I cannot believe some of the Black organizations that's out there that will sit there and honor a flag that has desecrated their own community, oppress their own community. I'm fine for standing up, but if you're going to play the national anthem, play that has racist lyrics in it. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Look at the full text of it. Then we might as well stand up for the Black national anthem. Not just on February. I remember way back when an alderman sat there and basically said, if we're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, we need to stand up for the Black Pledge of Allegiance, our Black national anthem. And guess what? They said, no, we're not going to do that. Then here comes the Italians saying, well, we need to have our national anthem. Then here comes other racial ethnicities saying, no. And the reason I'm saying no is because some people need to know their history. Our history is our book. And if you don't know our history defines us. It defines us. And where this coincides with the Epstein files, history. I said on my show, and I remind you again, his father was a Klansman. Apple don't fall far from the tree. He even said he will have relations with his daughter. If I'm wrong, let me know. He said that. He said he will date his daughter. And people was like, oh, that Trump. Oh, that Trump. That's incest. And the evangelical didn't say nothing, didn't condemn him for that. Are we crazy to let this guy do anything and say anything? Are we crazy? Looks like we are. 708 223 8953. Chime in. Let's have a discussion about it. 708 223 8953. I'm When someone sits there and say, I will date my daughter, that prompted a red flag right there. Nobody didn't say anything. But the evangelicals donated millions to his campaign. Donated millions to his campaign. They're not saying a word. They're not condemning him. But guess what they're doing? They're quiet. Where are the white preachers? Where are the white preachers now? Talking like black preachers. Where are they? Condemning this behavior. Put up or shut up. Don't deduct. Put up or shut up. Oh, if Clinton name, if Hillary and Bill Clinton's name was all over the Epstein file, guess what he would have done? He would have released that like last night's dinner. He would have released it. Oh, don't let Jasmine Crockett name be on there. Don't let Shifty Schiff, as he called him, be on there. He would have released it. When somebody sits there and show you, and like Maya Angelou says, and it stands true, they show you their true colors, believe it. If they show you what's going on, believe it. He's embarrassed. He's ashamed. When those reporters was on the, at the press conference today, basically putting questions out there of the Epstein's files. Epstein's files. You know what he did? He turned from his original color to pale white. But he wants Biden's name to be on the Epstein file, Epstein's file so bad. It's ridiculous. He's going to blame Biden for this. It's time for us to have a conversation on the 25th Amendment. And we need to start talking about the 25th Amendment now. Get rid of him. Now. He's unstable. We can't wait for an election. There's too much that's going on. They're trying to arrest Obama for the 2016 election over something that the Russians was trying to get Trump elected. But hey, what do I know? I know a demagogue when I see one, and he doesn't care. But you know what we should do? We should call for the 25th Amendment. And who can call for the 25th Amendment is the vice president, and he's not going to do it. But he has the power to. He's unfit to be president. He's not mentally stable to be president. He will sit there and write executive orders like nobody's business. And he doesn't care who it affects. But the laundry list gets longer and longer and longer of his involvement in those files. Could it be that you guys elected a child molester? Could it be that you guys didn't hear the clues that he's eyeing his own daughter? He said some pretty messed up things. Listen to past interviews when he's by his daughter. Listen to past interviews. You notice they're a married couple. Ivana Trump doesn't want to hold hands with him. She doesn't even want to kiss him. She give him that look. Like, don't touch me. I'm telling you this now, and I will say this again. It is time for us to learn the Constitution and start hammering people with our rights. 708-223-8953. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think that's going on? Do you think that we messed this up? I don't think blacks messed it up. I don't. What is that? 87% of us voted for him. Not voted for him, voted against him for Kamala. But he has a right to invoke her name in the Epstein files in the 2016 election. He's just throwing everything in the kitchen sink to see what sticks. No, you owning this one, buddy. You're owning this one. And the reason why you're owning this is because you know you did it. You know you did it. If you don't have nothing to hide, then release it. But you have something to hide. 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. Let's have a discussion about it, family. I want to hear what you think, what's going on. What's happening? Because it's not right nationally and it's not right locally. It's, you know what? Somebody always say to me, it's time to sit on a pot or don't sit on it at all. You just don't look at the toilet and think it magically something will appear in there. You got to relieve it. And what I mean by that, sometimes things don't happen unless you do it yourself. He knows what's going on. He knows he messed up. He knows he did it. He knows. He don't want that file to be released because it goes back to what I said earlier. It's history. 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 And history means his story. And his story is going to be tainted as one of the worst presidents we ever had. Don't get me started about talking about Reagan with his racist butt. The trickle down economic Reagan. The tax cut, like I explained before, they call it Reaganomics. The tax cuts going to trickle down to the poor. The middle class is suffering. The poor is getting poor. Now, when 2026 hit, how can we reverse that bill? Because it's not beautiful. How can we reverse it? They can amend it and take out that affects us. They can do it now. What they're scared. Everybody is scared of Donald Trump. And I don't know why. I don't know why. But they say there are people that comes into our lives that people are very afraid of. You're afraid that he's going to take away your luxurious job of doing nothing. But you're getting paid six figures. You're getting paid big money of doing nothing. Just to push a button to say yes or no. It's time, folks. And I understand what people are saying when it comes down to immigration, because we were one of the shows that basically said, please, Mayor Johnson, don't accept them. And look at it now. We are billions of dollars in the hole. Now he's saying, oh, there's not going to be no property tax hike. And guess what? No matter what, we got to pay for it anyway. We got to look for 2 or 3 jobs in order to make it. That's why people are moving. I have seen houses go up for sale. And it's damning. People are paying higher taxes in areas that they're not supposed to be paying higher taxes. And I'm just saying this. For the first time, I went to the Democratic slating. For the first time, I decided to go. Normally, I don't go to those things, but I just was curious. By the way, they have some good donuts there. If anybody wants to know, they very good donuts. It was like they got caramel, glaze and all that stuff. I had quite a few donuts there. Now, I was shocked that the Democratic Party didn't pick somebody that was in office, and that was Chris Kagi. The guy that's responsible for the high taxes. And they supported him over and over again. And I'm very glad they grew a pair. He will not be endorsed by the Democratic Party. And the reason is because there is no excuse for property taxes to be high as the high can see as the ceiling, and we don't see where the money is going. It's not going to the schools. It's not going to the roads. Where the money is going. When the flooding incident happened, there was tax deductions there. Did it happen? Oh, hell no, it didn't happen. But again and again, we keep on electing these people that do not favor us. I want you to understand whether you're talking about Trump, pay attention to local. When you're paying attention to local, pay attention to the school districts. When you're paying attention to school districts, pay attention to who is your trustee and why it's important to elect them. Are they bringing business in? Are they helping the community? I remember I said this on a rant a couple I more than a couple of years ago, I believe. And my rant sparked some controversy. And you know what? I'm not ashamed about it. Let's have a discussion about it. Reverend Winans said something that was key. And everybody is talking about it. He said, if you join a fraternity or a sorority, you're going to hell. You join a fraternity and a sorority, you're going to hell. Now, I basically said to people, and I mentioned this, and I stand true, that I always wanted to be a frat brother. I always wanted to join um, a fraternity. And somebody said to me, there's another secret society in that. And I'm like, no, I think it's brotherhood. I think it's sisterhood to themselves, not to the outside world. To themselves, their brothers. To themselves, their sisters. Are they really helping the community or are they helping themselves? And that's a question we need to start asking these fraternity brothers and these sorors. That is a question we need to start asking because you sure in the hell didn't help Kamala Harris like you're supposed to. And she gave you all that money. The Divine Nine, be scared of the Divine Nine, they says. And Trump looked at them and said, divine what? Divine what? You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And then you want to turn around and say, we're community. Well, if you're community, I don't see your ass on the west side. I don't see you at these parades. I don't see you raising money for scholarships like you're supposed to. But when somebody wants to join and be a brother and stay true, Oh, nah. Uh-uh. Nah, you can't do that. Nah, You don't think I can be a Q dog? I can do the hopping dance? Yeah. I mean, Earl, you think I can be a Q dog? He said he don't know. But you know what? It should be open. I'm not saying all the time, but it should be open. Come on, if you're the whole reason for fraternities and sororities to be together, it was because of the oppression that they received education wise. The oppression when it was slavery. Education, 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 because we wasn't treated well. We will die if we was reading. And the divine nine, what are you doing? I don't have nothing against a frat brother. I don't have nothing against people who join a fraternity or a sorority. Only thing I'm asking is, where are you in helping the sister that's twerking out there? Where are you when the brother is clicking his gun and only thing he knows is to shoot somebody to solve problems? Where are you? When the music was when Nelly had a credit card and slid the credit card between her butt. Now you say something. But now you have a whole bunch of poisonous music that's out there, and it continues. I don't see the Divine Nine addressing issues of Black depression that's at an all-time high, suicide rates that's at an all-time high of Black men, women, the immortality rate. Where is the Divine Nine? You want to pick and choose. No, it doesn't work that way. History doesn't know. No. Whoever set the ground rules now ought to be ashamed of themselves, because that's not what it was supposed to be. If you want to become a brother, you become a brother. When you want to become a sister, you become a sister. That's my sorrow. Woo-hoo-hoo. What they do, woo-hoo, all that stuff. But you're not addressing the issues. But you make sure they get jobs. You make sure they get jobs. Not any old kind of jobs. I'm talking about high-paying jobs. But you wouldn't hire Roman because he's not there. You wouldn't hire an Earl Winfrey because he's not a fraternity frat brother. It needs to stop. Most of the people that's in the CPS system are Soros. Look it up. CTA. And what I'm getting at is sometimes we are our own worst enemy. If you